Hey, good morning, good night, good afternoon, Deliverance Chronicles family, wherever you are across the world. This is Wayne again, signing on to bring you a message. And you know, I always bring these messages based on the encounters that I've been having in deliverance. I've been having frequent deliverances with individuals, mostly women, who are suffering with marine spirits. And when I say marine spirits, usually spirit husbands. That's the incubus spirit, or incubi spirit as it is known. The topic of marine spirits or the marine kingdom is not one that is widely discussed here in America. As a matter of fact, it is not widely known here in America. So I decided that I wanted to give you some information today concerning marine spirits, the marine kingdom, its existence, and how we deal with it. The first two things that I want to explain is that the earth is made up of 70% water, and it's not coincidental that our bodies are about 70% water, which means we are affected by issues having to do with waters, rivers, streams, and oceans. The fact that the earth is 70% water means that the largest part of Satan's kingdom is the marine kingdom, or is the water kingdom. Now, these spirits, they congregate near any body of water. I happen to live near the ocean. Ocean, seas, lakes, even unnatural bodies of water such as pools and fountains. Have you ever noticed that anywhere that you go in the world where there's a fountain, there's people throwing money into the fountain? You're actually offering a sacrifice to a marine spirit when you do that. Most people don't know that. But what I really want to talk about today is the existence of the marine kingdom and what are the symptoms, or what does the marine kingdom do. The marine kingdom is divided into two sections. One that includes the entire Indian Ocean and all the other oceans, and then the Atlantic section, which includes the Atlantic Ocean. It's not by chance or coincidence we hear about Devil's Triangle or the Bermuda Triangle. All those are operations that have to do with the marine kingdom. The marine kingdom, right, is one that has influences, witchcraft, music, technology, entertainment, political policies that are perverse, are all affected by the marine kingdom. This is where we get seductive clothing. This is where we get makeup. Now, when I say this, hear me by the Spirit. I'm not saying that all makeup is demonic, but a large portion of it is. And here's why. Makeup is created to be seductive, or have women look more seductive. The eyeliner, the lipstick, the face paint, those things are more attractive in a sense to attract men, and vice versa. Seductive clothing, like everywhere you look today, you see women in tights, spandex, little shirts, cleavage showing. The emanation of this clothing comes from the marine kingdom to entice men and women in acts of fornication. Let's call it what it is. The ultimate way, or the universal way, that people are inducted into the marine kingdom is by fornication. Let me explain. The initiation, or the altar that initiates an individual into the marine kingdom, or in essence has a marine spirit assigned to a person's life, is always through sex. Hear me by the Spirit. It is done through fornication, adultery, or it's done in your sleep by a spirit. And when you have engaged in sexual activity with anyone, you are now married to that individual. You are now in covenant with that individual. Usually, people that have endured sexual molestation or incest are automatically initiated into the marine kingdom. The marine kingdom is known for all manner of sexual perversions that bring people into these covenants with the spiritual realm that is under the water. I just want to give you, there are two classes of marine spirits. There's the conscious marine agent, which is an individual, and there's the unconscious marine agent, which is a spirit. Meaning, when I say unconscious, meaning that these things happen in a state of sleep or in the dream realm. And then you have people who are already initiated. People, see, I don't want to go too deep because some of this stuff is so, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say unbelievable, but we have not been exposed to many things concerning the marine kingdom. And in speaking of it in a manner on this first message, I think would be too much. But just to give you an example, when we watch movies like Aquaman and we hear about Atlantis and we hear about cities under the water and we think it's fiction, it is not so. Because some of the agents of the marine kingdom are the mermaids and the sirens. These are not fictional characters. These are spirits. We hear folklore about men going on fishing trips, or men that are in the merchant marine, and they see these apparitions, they hear this singing, and they're enticed or inducted. People that are from the Caribbean are highly susceptible to marine spirits, and usually are inducted into the marine kingdom that they don't know. Let me just give you what the initiation is. I think I spoke of it a couple minutes ago. The altar is always sex. It operates through molestation, incestuous workings. That's what the marine kingdom uses to inhabit and entice people and to indoctrinate people, induct people into their kingdom. The spirit behind the rise of the most hated bloodline of the men of God, the tribes God forbade his people never to intermarry, were born from these demonic influences. It is the same spirit that possessed the daughters of Lot that led them into this incestuous behavior. The main areas that these spirits manifest itself, they usually manifest themselves in peoples, family, tribes, and even over nations. And like I said before, the indoctrination has to do with sex. Sleeping with either an unknown man or woman, both even men and women in your dreams, is indoctrination. Feel like somebody's sleeping on top of you or pressing upon you. I've ministered to people where they actually can feel the spirit either getting on the bed, or in some instances they're not asleep and they can feel this rape, this penetration. I don't want to be too graphic. Signs of being indoctrinated into the marine kingdom: uncontrollable molestation, having an addiction, not molestation, masturbation, having an addiction to wanting to masturbate. See, this is the reason why these things happen, is because the enemy is attempting to get you to release your seed. When the seed is released, that seed attracts a demon, and this demon is able to produce, guys, I'm not making this up, able to produce a larvae that produce another spirit being in the realm of the spirit. And this example is seen in Genesis 38, 9 and 10. And Onan knew the seed should not be his, and it came to pass when he went into his brother's wife, and he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother, and that thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore the Lord slew him. This is an example. This is the example of the seed being spilled and what happens when the seed is being spilled. Number 3, pornography. Pornography is an open door to addiction and full demonic manifestation in a person. We know that pornography is something that is born out of lust, the lust of the eye. Usually these spirits that deal with pornography are congregated in the eye region. Let me give you an example, and I know this for myself. Sometimes as a man, you're walking down the street and all of a sudden your eyes are drawn without you knowing into a direction, and when you look, there's a scantily clad woman. This is what the spirit of lust does in your eyes. It directs your attention to women that are scantily clad and dressed very seductive. One of the other things that the marine kingdom does, it has to do with Jezebel and Jezebel's daughter. They lure men and women into the satanic world through these enchantments, meaning witchcraft. There's a lot of witchcraft involved in the marine kingdom. Now, I want to give you some signs that there's a marine spirit that has attacked you or is tormenting you. Barrenness. If a woman is unable to conceive, that is a sign that there's a marine spirit involved. Because what they usually do is steal your offspring. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. This stuff is real. Nobody talks about it. Number 2, chronic masturbation. I spoke about that a couple seconds ago. Dreams of swimming in rivers and oceans, or dreams of having sex with unknown people, or you can even have dreams that you're having intercourse with your wife or your husband, but no, we know it's not your wife or your husband because they're asleep next to you. Dreams of playing with snakes or the presence of frogs is also another example. Sudden and mysterious missing personal objects. I've heard of people having their undergarments missing. That is a sign of the marine kingdom is active in your life. Excessive pride, uncontrollable anger, and outbursts. Suicidal thoughts and dreams. A dream of being killed. Fear of waters and rivers. Constant smell that is irritating after bathing, like you take a bath and there's a smell that you cannot identify, but it's just very strong. Getting mysterious objects at your house, room, or even mysterious letters. You're getting letters or objects delivered to you and you don't know where they're coming from. People leaving objects, talismans and accursed objects on your stoop, in your mailbox. That is a sign. Anytime you've engaged in unholy sex means that you're having intercourse with somebody that is not your wife or that is not your husband, you're being initiated into the water kingdom. And if you have children or if you're an adult that is experiencing bedwetting, that is also a sign that the marine kingdom is prevalent. Now, this information is good to know so we can identify the issues and circumstances and the spirits that are attacking us. Every human being on this planet is a target of the snare of Satan. And worse, if you are a believer in Christ Jesus, you have come to the saving knowledge of Christ, you become a you become a greater victim of these attacks. And you know, we sing that old Christian hymn, onward Christian soldiers marching unto war. And I don't believe the war is defined anymore. We are not knowledgeable of the enemy and his devices and his wiles and the things that he does. What I'm talking about today is a topic that I've never heard in church. I've had to go research this information because not only people are coming to me with these situations of wanting to be delivered, but in my own life. Let me just be clear. I am not immune from any demonic activity. As a matter of fact, I believe I'm a greater target because we're thinning out the ranks of Satan. We want to continue to thin out the ranks of the dark kingdom. I had a friend of mine on the phone a couple of minutes ago. She's a prophet. I'm gonna give her a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Simone Lennon down in McDonough, Georgia. And she said this, and I believe it was very, very profound. What if all of the deliverance ministers would get together? If we could get a couple 100,000 men and women of God that are anointing to do deliverance at a very high level, and we attack these principalities and powers, we attack the marine kingdom, we send destruction to the palace of the queen, we send destruction and fire and earthquake to the waters, the rivers, the seas, the pools, and the oceans where these marine spirits divide. We send lightning into the camp of the enemy and we attack them preemptively, not reactive, but we proactively go after the marine spirits. Say for instance for 30 days, what kind of impact could we have in the world? And this just came to me by the Spirit of God. Why do you think abortion is so popular in America? Why do you think the Democrats are so eager to export abortion, and even worse than that, destroy children up to the 9th month? And let me just speak to you guys out there in America. I don't know how, as a Christian, a Bible-believing, sanctified Christian, I don't care what your affiliation is, that you can say that you can support a party that removes God on their platform and advances abortion to the state that is infanticide. You see, we don't understand that Moloch receives blood every time we abort. That blood is placed on the altar of Moloch. This is why abortion is such a stronghold. This is why in America, the Democratic Party is fighting to advance and make abortion available to every and anyone. And for those of us who are African Americans and don't even realize that 20 million of our brothers and sisters are missing because of abortion. We make up 13 to 17% of the population, and we're responsible for more than half of all abortions in America. And we still support these people that advance our destruction. That's all I'm going to say about the topic. But saints, it's about time we open our eyes and see what it is and understand that the enemy is involved in every area of our lives. This LBGTQ movement that wants to advance and remove gender assigned by God. Let me just say this: we are in no position to reassign anybody's gender. God is the creator of all things, and He is the one that is able to set us free from whatever that gender identity issues that we're having. I just want to say this: if you have recognized that anything that I mentioned today is a part of your life and you need help being delivered, I encourage you to give us a call. I encourage you to email us. We minister to everyone. We don't charge a dime. We are not one of those ministries that's going to say, in order for us to minister to you, you have to send us a PayPal or a Cash App. I'm not a Cash App preacher. If you don't want to give into the ministry, I'm still going to speak God's word. I'm still going to minister to God's people, because God will and does take care of us. Okay? Our goal at Deliverance Chronicles is to train 100,000 individuals to duplicate the works of deliverance all over the world, and to send these people out to start in their families, in their homes, in their households, in their churches. I can say this: 97 of the churches in America don't do deliverance. They don't believe a Christian can have a demon. And I'm saying this: if Jesus came to set the captives free and we are bought with a price, then how come we don't believe that we can be delivered and set free? We act like for some reason that the Spirit of God that is in us is competing for space, and therefore a demon can't be present, and that's false. The Bible says that the whole world is naked before God. God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. So don't think because you are a believer that you can't have a spirit because you are saved. God is still in you even if the demon is in you. Get delivered. Don't believe the lie. Search your scriptures. We have more than enough videos on here that gives you the evidence that you need to know that if you are a believer and you're having difficulty in your life with supernatural issues, you can be set free. Deliverance is not for the unsaved unless they come to Christ. We're not talking about being demon possessed. We're talking about being demonized. That there's an area in your life that you know the enemy is attacking you, and you've gone to God and you've prayed so many times and haven't gotten relief, because God is saying the issue that you have does not require me doing something. It requires you to do something. We got to break the curses. We got to cast out those marine spirits. We got to stop these curses from traveling through our bloodline and through our lineage. We got to set our children free. The power and authority has been given to us. Remember the disciples, Jesus sent the disciples out. They came back and they said how the demons were subject to them. And Jesus said not to be happy in that, but to be glad that your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Is your name written in the Lamb's Book of Life tonight? If Jesus was to bust the eastern skies tonight, can you say that I know I'm ready? If you're not, it's time to get ready. It is time to get ready. Time is fast spent. Jesus is on his way back. But before Jesus comes back, as the Bible says, a day to us is like 1,000 years to God. He may not even come back in our lifetime, and the day can become even more evil. So what are we going to do? Sit around demonized and not get set free so we can go do what God has called us to do? We got to move. We got to work. All right, this is Wayne from Deliverance Chronicles. I'm signing off, but I just need to do some house cleaning. Number one, deliveranchronicles.org is fully up and running. We have 32 pieces of literature that you can download for free. I have a book on there that if you were to buy it in hardcover, it is $400, and we made it available for you for free. We have deliverance manuals on there that you can be trained in. You can train yourself. You can do self-deliverance. So deliveranchronicles.org is up and running. Deliverance Chronicles at Facebook and Instagram. All those IGs there. Facebook is there. And we also have a merchandise page. I happen to be wearing the camo #deliverance hat. It is on the page. If God puts it on your heart to support us, we have created merchandise that you can rep deliverance, you can rep Jesus through this merchandise, and it supports the ministry. This is not my job. I don't get paid to do this. I do this because I love God's people. But nevertheless, the ministry needs support because we have taken on a mandate from God, and I know God is going to do it. But nevertheless, for those of you who have been blessed by these messages and have shared them and think that you want to support, we have a donate button where you can donate, or we have merchandise that you can buy. I just want to thank every individual that has supported us. We have some wonderful people all across the world that supports us and share these messages. Listen, the idea is not to become popular. The idea is to get people to be set free. And if that causes us to become popular, then so be it. We want to do God's work all across the world. So if you can, if you're willing, if God puts it on your heart, I encourage you to support us. I just want to thank you all for watching wherever you are across the world. And the thing that I always say, Jesus has won the war. Now we need to go forth and win the battle. God bless you all. Have a good day, good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, all across the world.